Hey. Okay, it's Nigerian ex-JW Speaks here. I hope everyone is doing well. It's the last day of February. I don't know who is going to come on live. I am in a different space today because I was just here. I thought I'd do it here. Let me check my phone, check that I'm live before I carry on. Let's see if we have this working. Feeling the nerves today. I don't know why. It's with these things, it's best not to get out of practice, isn't it? Because the more you leave it, the harder it gets. Right, let's see. So I am here. Okay, so I am live. There is sound. So my goal is to be done with this within half an hour. Now, I have to say, if you get triggered by bad news sometimes, then there's not a lot, and I'm hoping someone will drop in some good news here, and that has happened in this month of February. But it's been kind of a heavy month. It's been wild. So I've put down some notes of the things that I want to cover. These are the things that sort of popped off at me, so they're not necessarily JW related. So that's the thing with these live streams. They're about the things that stood out to me in the course of the month, not necessarily JW stuff. So just a heads up if you are listening in. Okay, so I'm gonna start with, it was Black History Month in the US, which if you've listened to me, I guess when things were kicking off last year, you know that the events of sort of May, June, the protests and all of that, it really was a waking up for me. It was a snap out of it thing for me. And so it did get me down a path of research. And so this is, I guess, the first US Black History Month that's come about since all of that event. And so I've been doing some sort of history searching. So apparently it was started by a guy called Carter G. Woodson, who was himself a son of slaves. So he actually started it in 1926. And so it's been going on for quite a while. Initially, it was just for 1 week. So it was just Black History Week. It was selected for February because in that month were the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln on the 12th of February and Frederick Douglass on the 20th of February. And there's a documentary right now on Netflix called Amend. And I think is actually the first episode of that sort of talks a lot about how those two men worked together to get the emancipation done. And so their birthdays sort of falling sort of around the same time. It started as just for 1 week and kind of expanded to a whole month. And that's how I have them today. Here in the UK, it's in October. We were late to the party. So it didn't start here until 1987, I think it was. 1st of October, there was a guy called, Molena Karenga, who was visiting here. And that year happened to coincide with the 100th birth anniversary of Marcus Garvey. And also 25 years of an organization called the OAU, which is Organization of African Unity. And so it kind of all tied together to be for that month. And so it's been a month of learning, I guess, in a lot of ways, what that entails. So anyone who's done any good stuff for the month, drop it in the comments. What have you been up to? I know it's kind of not the time to be doing stuff and tricky time, but if you manage to do anything, let us know. Sadly, there are people who are wanting to opt out of learning about this in the US, opting for their kids to learn from it. And of course, I don't know the details of what they're trying to opt out of, or if it's a case of just learning about the history of people that are part and parcel of your country. I don't understand why, but that's what I found out. Okay, on to some, not so great stuff. So if you're squeamish, feel free to log off now. But these were, like I said, the things that really shook me this month. And so it's not always good news. So first, I don't know if the name Daniel Prude means anything to you. So this was a guy that was, he was killed last year, 23rd of March last year. I have a really strange, sometimes when I'm nervous and really uncomfortable, there's a strange chuckle laugh thing that happens. And so I apologize. 23rd of March last year in New York, he was having a mental health episode. He was unwell, and he was naked on the street. Police were called. They set about to restrain him. A hood was put over his face, and apparently he was held down for 2 minutes and 15 seconds, after which he passed away. According to autopsy, died of asphyxia, which is essentially a lack of oxygen. And so what happened this month was that the final police report, or whatever report it was, eventually came out on the 23rd, and there's not going to be any charges to the 7 officers, according to the grand jury, but that reforms have to be done, blah, 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 the usual stuff. And so, I mean, what I'm going to try and do is not have emotion get in, just sort of stick to the facts of that's what happened. But clearly this had an impact on me this month, even though I am far, far away. But with everything that happened last year, it is a bit of a shock to have stuff like this. This is going to be a very short one, I can tell. The other sort of a similar thing, I think this next one hit me even harder. But again, there was the report that came out this month. Elijah McClain, a 23-year-old massage therapist who was again killed in August of 2019. So this one happened a little bit longer in Aurora, Colorado, I think it's called. He was walking back from the shop. Everything indicates that he was on the autistic spectrum, so a bit more tender loving care sort of needed. He was wearing a ski mask back from the shop, and someone rang the police to say that there's someone walking with a ski mask. He looks a bit sketchy. I don't know what that means. But police showed up, again, restrained, chokehold, and they actually administered some ketamine on him. It turns out an amount that was more than, someone for his size and his weight should have been given. On the way to the hospital, because of how he had been restrained, had a cardiac arrest and died 3 days later. The police involved were found, so this happened in the August. In the October, photos came out of them taking pictures, acting out the restraints in which they held him. Following that, one of them resigned, 3 of them were fired, and the thing's been in the system investigation the whole time. So again, report came out this month, reporting that they had no legal basis to have stopped him, restrained him, frisked him, anything like that. So I guess this is not a done deal yet. Let's see what happens based off of the outcome of this report. But this was the one that sort of hit me the most, because actually on the 25th of February would have been Elijah's birthday. He would have been 25. So he didn't even get a chance to start his life. But and then just one more thing, a bit more on the Nigerian side before I move on. So I think I reported last year about protests that were happening on the subject of what police are getting up to, because it is a global thing sometimes, where work needs to be done to make things better there. So I mentioned last year around October or maybe early November about protests in Nigeria, about a specific police unit that had gotten out of hand, and there was a horrific event there in October, and I'm not gonna repeat it. But essentially, there was this gate that has been closed the whole time, and so on the 13th of February, this month, about 2 weeks ago, the government tried to reopen it before any proper investigation had been done on the lives that were lost in the hands of the military force that day. And so people were out there, part protesting, part like, are you really gonna reopen this to I guess begin your commerce before proper investigation happens? 40 people were arrested there on the 13th, and were it not for public outcry, essentially being shamed online, things could have gone very differently. But public outcry, and those 40 people were let off. One of them was actually quite a public figure, and that might have been a huge part of why they were able to let them go as well. So I guess that is still like sort of watch this space. It has been wild. When I say it's been a wild month, there's just been things that happen and you think, really, seriously, this is happening. Okay, my video quality. I'm on the laptop. I'm on the laptop for this live stream. Okay, moving on to a bit of good news. A bit of good news here, because goodness, we need that. So here in the UK, we may have a path. We may have a path to come out of this lockdown. That's coming up to a year next month since we first went in. I think we first went in around the 21st or 24th, somewhere around there of March last year. So we'll finally have what it seems to be like a path to get out of it. So schools are due to go back in on the 8th of March, fingers crossed. And that's sort of the start of things, getting open again. So from around the 12th of March, or at least they say no earlier than 12th of March, they think the libraries are going to open again. I personally am very excited about that. I want the libraries back open. I want the libraries back open so I can take back some books and just go somewhere quiet and sit with books and read. So I'm looking forward to that. And also the gyms. Not that I personally go, I've always been someone that did that from home, but potentially opening up from next month. And then from, not earlier than 17th of May, we're going to have 2 households being able to meet indoors. So currently, we have something called a bubble system. So one household can bubble up with another household if it's a single parent or a single person. But now you're going to have 2 households, regardless of size, being able to meet indoors no earlier than the 17th of May. So looking forward to that. Cinemas as well might be opening around mid of May, so around that 17th of May, as well as soft play places. So parents of young children everywhere will be very happy. They can go to soft play places again and let the kids burn off some steam and all of that. So that is good news. And then potentially by around the end of June, all sort of restrictions are going to be gone. So the next few months, pretty exciting. I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to that. People that, their lives got disrupted by all of this, it's something good to look forward to. So yeah, fingers crossed, looking forward to that. What do we have here? Hey, John, you made it. Excellent. Yes, I know, right? It is an odd thing where you have to have like a month. I don't know. I mean, I absolutely get why it was started, but won't it be good when it gets to a point where it's all intertwined in such a way where, yeah, we don't need to do all that. So good to see you too, John. Yeah, definitely. You got, oh, excellent. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. So here, I think they've worked their way through quite a lot, actually. I was checking the other day, something about 25%. I don't know if that was 25% of people in general or 25% of the people that they classed as vulnerable had been vaccinated, at least gotten their first dose. So they're prioritizing, of course, the elderly, starting with the over 80s, then over 70s. They now are the over 60s. I have a lot of friends who are either health workers or I guess what you call frontline workers, and they have been getting them as well. So people are generally on board. There's of course people who are still suspicious, people who still I don't know, taking a wait and see, people who think, well, it's all a bunch of nothing. But for the most part, I think here there's a huge number of people that are getting vaccinated. I am way down the priority line, I'm sure. So yeah. And actually, I don't know who else is here, but I just wanted to send so much love people who were in Texas from 2 weeks ago. You know, I'm glad that things are getting better now, getting warmer. But yeah, it sounded like it was a really difficult number of days there. I don't know if there's still any left there. I think from what I know, things sort of kicked off around the middle of Feb, so around the 13th, 14th, and, you know, power cut and temperature going insanely cold. You know, I think was there around 20 and 30 people who lost their lives as well, which, you know, really should not be happening. It really shouldn't be happening. So I hope everyone is I don't know, being able to move past that as well as you can. Of course, if anyone's lost their family in that, it's going to be a longer process there. But yeah, I was just really thinking of you guys. I can't imagine what that would be like to go through that. Okay, so that was everything I had on my notes. Like I said, I was trying to find some good news coming out of the lockdown. That's definitely a good thing. We're getting some more sunshine here, which is good for the mind, good for the soul, good for the mental health. So looking forward to that. There are actually another influx of ex-JWs here on YouTube. I think that's great. I think that's fantastic. There was a video by someone who I can't recall their name now, but that seemed to have done really well. I think he has probably over 1 million views or something. Let me see if I can find his name, because I know he's done an interview as well somewhere else. Let me see. I will find that name. Where is it? Where is it? Gosh, things move so fast. Oh, I'm sure I had it. I bet I'm not going to find it when I'm trying to look for it. Oh, this is funny. There. Okay, there it is. What's the name? Someone who wanted a bit. Chris Stockman. There we go. That's the name I'm looking for. Chris Stockman. So he already had quite a sizable channel anyway, but that video is doing quite well. And I think the more people that can really see this group for what they are and what they're doing, I think that's definitely a good thing. So that video is currently at 1.4 million views. So that's definitely good. But there's a few more people that have come in the mix, which, you know, for every one person that's able to come online, think of how many have left, but, you know, haven't taken the step to come online. So that's really good. I had a quick look on the website before this. It's same old, persecution complex, poor people who are, you know, really putting themselves through it to prove their loyalty to this group. It's a shame, but nothing new there for what they're doing. And I was also looking as well, they've set the memorial date for 27th of March. So I think that would be the next live stream day. That would be the next live stream day, I think. Yeah, is that the last? Yeah, is it 27 then or 28? I don't know. Somewhere that last weekend of March, they're doing that. So that would be something. Okay, I wanted to get all of this done within half an hour, and I think I've covered everything. So that's excellent. If you think of any good news, please put them in the comments. I want to hear some of that. But yeah, I've got a really good feeling about, you know, from here on out, you know, as we get through March and April and it gets warmer, that should be good. Let's see. Ooh, I want to show this one. Pretty Life After Religion. Cool. Okay, I will check that out. I have not seen that one. I was gonna add a list of the ones that I've seen lately on here, and then I realized that Lloyd had done a video with some of them, so there's no point in me adding to it as well. But yeah, it's really good to see, and I hope that spreads out more. I hope that's in more places, more people just taking charge of their lives, man, and start doing the work that inevitably they'll have to do when they leave. You know, it takes work to get some sort of normalcy, right? To come back to real life. Come back to real life and think about things in a way that isn't culty. So the sooner they can start that work, the sooner they can have a life. So that always makes me happy. That always makes me feel like, yes, there's more people getting back control of their senses. Yeah, and not being taken advantage of. Okay, I will not ramble. Have a good new month, everyone. You know, it's 1st of March tomorrow, so I wish everyone well. Stay safe. John, great to have you here. And yeah, I hope the vaccine goes well tomorrow. I don't know if people get a chance to choose what one they have or just take whatever you can get. I think you guys may have an option of a 1-dose one rather than the 2-dose one. I think here it's just the 2 doses that we have. But yeah, I hope that goes well, and that is part of the steps to coming out of all of this mess. What a crazy 12 months it's been. Anyway, look after yourself. Speak to you in the next one. Bye. Oh, and subscribe if you haven't.